Hey everybody, and happy Friday. We are sitting in the car, which you can tell it's been a really busy morning so far. Wiggy works from home on Fridays, and I was with my mom sanity partner Debbie earlier doing a really fast photo shoot, and then we just met with our financial advisor, which is always important. Every married couple needs to do that, so make sure you do that. And just wanted to jump in today with our series that we emailed you about. Hopefully you're on our sampler list. If not, you need to make sure you get there because we're going to be starting a new series that we are not experts in. This is not about toxic-free products or medicine,
Yes.
but we are going to be talking about marriage. I think that we've both been a little bit disgruntled lately with some things that we've seen and read, and just so many things that about marriage that are just not really true. And so we want to take it back to what the Bible says about marriage, but I think that's easy to study without actually being able to apply it to. And many of us are in a stage of life where we have little children that can make marriage extra challenging, actually, and that's okay to admit that because it really is. And so that's what we're going to dive into. So tell us, Wiggy, what is a perfect marriage?
Yeah, so we wanted to do this series on marriage because we have a perfect marriage. That's why. And
Perfect.
everyone just
You
needs
didn't know
to
that.
everyone just needs to listen to us, and then you'll also have a perfect marriage. Actually, the exact opposite is actually why we wanted to do this. Well, not the exact opposite, but we feel like the perfect marriage is somewhat of an elusive term, and so that was one of the things as far as getting started into this series. We want to just be honest, and we want to be upfront with you about kind of what does a perfect marriage look like, because some of us also have somewhat of a skewed perception on what that should be. So we are imperfect people. We have an imperfect marriage. So there are things that we've learned. There are things that we have gotten better with. There are things that we're still working on. There are things that we have no idea what we're doing. So again, we're not coming from a place necessarily of authority, saying yes because we have the best marriage that everyone
Yeah, that's a very
needs
good
to
point.
listen to us. But we are coming from a position where I feel like we have learned a lot of things, and I feel like we are working on it.
Yeah, let me just give you kind of the background. So Wiggy and I have been married for almost 12 years. Coming up this July. We were college sweethearts. We met at Wake Forest. We started dating on Wiggy's 20th birthday. So that means that we are about
It's
to
15
celebrate our
years
15
now.
years together later this month, which is crazy. We got married 2 weeks before he started medical school. And we come from very different family backgrounds.
Yeah.
So, without going into too much detail, Wiggy comes from a family that doesn't do a lot of talking about things. They've come a long way in recent years, which is wonderful. And I come from a family of yellers, both my parents and my extended family. And so we had a lot to dig into when we first got married, for sure. And not just when we first did. I think that deep down, those are our natural tendencies. For me,
Yeah.
is just to go off and yell, and I tend to want to convince everyone that my way is the right way, and Wiggy tends to just internalize until it gets to a point where it's just too much for him to deal with, and it comes out in other ways oftentimes. So that's just one of countless examples of ways that we are imperfect, and we've got a lot to work on. But I think that what has made the biggest difference in our relationship is our ability to communicate. And rather than trying to necessarily find answers or necessarily to, have a perfect answer to everything, it's just the willingness to hear what the other person is thinking or feeling or saying, and make that be a safe place where no matter how much I might disagree with what you're saying about me and what I'm doing, and maybe it's not even about me, that we can still have a conversation about it, and we can still try to understand where that person is coming from, and we can still if we don't have our marriage as a safe place where we can talk about anything without wondering if that's bringing up this one thing is going to make the whole thing crumble down, or we're not going to be able to talk for the next 3 weeks or whatever that might look like, then we're not ever going to be able to make any progress on the little things, much less the big things. And I think that's something that took us years to realize.
Yes, definitely. So that's actually getting into some of the content that we're going to start talking about here. Yes, one of the big things that we're going to be hitting on is communication, but so we don't want to spend a lot of time necessarily on content right now. This is more just
He's saying
background.
I'm off topic without telling me I'm off topic, so that's okay.
Sometimes I have to do that. But anyway, but no, the reason why we want to try to do this, because with Raise Them Well, yes, our main purpose really was to was to kind of start getting some healthy and some toxic-free products out there. But our actual, why Raise Them Well really is more about strengthening the foundation of the family.
Yes.
And yes, we do believe that's a big part of that is going to be nutrition. A big part of that's going to be getting rid of toxins. But that's, I think, in a lot of ways, those things are not as important as the foundation of the marriage. And so if we can get the marriage stronger, then everything else will also be stronger, just consequentially from that. So
and it's very difficult to be a great parent when you don't have the relationship with your partner that
absolutely
stands firmly first, and then the kids are second.
So so we want to not change our focus, because our focus still with Raise Them Well is going to be producing healthy, toxic-free products for kids and for families, but we also want to not necessarily be so focused on that, and some way narrowly focused on just toxic-free and healthy living. And I think we're just seeing this is that unfortunately we're seeing there's not a lot of healthy, Christ-centered marriage advice out there, at least not that I've come across on a regular basis.
No.
So
not that's not given by experts, which I think experts are great, and we have those that we consult regularly, but sometimes it's really more helpful to hear bite-sized chunks of things from people that are kind of going through it at the same time. I love to have my mentor friends, but at the same time I like to have my friends that are in the same stage as me as well, so that we can support each other right now and really get it.
Yeah, and I think we're in a good position now where I think we can bring some advice and some knowledge too, because we're not exactly new to this. Yes, 15 years together, 12 years married almost. Yes, we have a long ways to go, and we have a lot to learn, but I think we have grown a lot. And that's, to me, going back to the initial kind of point of this live. What is a perfect marriage? A perfect marriage really is where both people are committed and both people are growing. That's really the best way to define what a perfect marriage looks like, because again, there will always be a journey, just like faith journey. There's no such thing as a perfect faith. No one has that. That's something that you will continue to work on every day. You put in the time in the Word, you put in the time in prayer, and you hope again each day that you're going to get closer to Christ. That's the ultimate goal. And I think the perfect marriage looks something like that. And I think that's kind of defined in the Bible, is that's what a marriage looks like. At least from a husband to a wife, that's kind of looks like that. So.
And as soon as we think that we've got it all figured out, and that we've this marriage thing, like, what do you mean I should go to a marriage course or whatever? I mean, I think especially, not to harp on men, but they're like, what do you mean? Like, I thought we were good. And I think that once we think that we've arrived or that we've got it all figured out, no matter what it is, I think that's when we start to we deceive ourselves into thinking that we don't need to continue to work through these things and to pay attention to them. And every season is so different, and that's another topic I know we're going to talk about. But we just wanted to introduce today. And also, like I said, make sure you're on our email list as a sampler. I'll give you the link for that, because I'm going to send out emails for each of these so that you don't miss them, because things go really fast on Facebook. So thank you for joining us. Happy Friday, happy weekend, and we will look forward to round 2 next week. Take care.
See ya.